Baba defines for us the definition of victory or Vijay. And he says, who is called a victorious soul? The one who finishes opposition by remaining constantly stable in their elevated position. Yes, so I, the soul, face many oppositions. Yes, and when do you face opposition? Do you face opposition when you are standing with the opposer? No. You face opposition when you are standing against the opposer. And you see that for 63 births, we have been standing with Maya. We were doing what Maya wanted us to do. We were spoiling our own karma and catering to Maya. So there was no opposition. And it is very interesting that when we come to Baba, when we belong to Baba, then there is all the opposition in the world coming up for me. Before that, there is no opposition. Life is smooth and good, and life is sorrowful, but it's good. Why? Because you can blame others for the sorrow. Yes, so you're suffering, but you are taking solace in blaming others. And you are not unhappy with the suffering, but you are happy with the fact that you can blame somebody for it. And this is how Maya keeps us happy. And I'll tell you one thing. When I was working in the office, then there was this one situation where there was a big blunder that was made by the team. And then the boss said that it's not, it's not bad news that there is a blunder, but the bad news is you don't have a scapegoat for it. And we don't have anybody to blame this for. And then we said, but you see, the blunder is the problem. So I said, no, blunders keep happening, no problem. And we are not worried about the loss or anything. But when you don't have anybody to blame, that's a very big problem. Because then, you have to blame yourself, or somebody will blame you, and that becomes a problem. So Maya keeps us happy like this. And we keep blaming, we keep spoiling our own karma, engaging in that blame mentally, physically, verbally. So, also reacting to those thoughts of blame. So we were happy and we were sorrowful, and then we were okay. But then Baba comes and teaches us the way to be happy and peaceful. But then it's a long way. And when we start doing that and we start opposing Maya, then there is a lot of opposition from Maya also. And you see, everything in this old world is an instrument of Maya right now. Right from your own body, your own sanskar, to every soul around you, everything around you. So, they are all under the sway of Maya. So, Maya brings us opposition through all these things. So there is opposition from outside, there is opposition from inside, from your own body, from your own mind, from your own sanskars, and then of course from people around you who believe that vices are normal and natural and purity is very unnatural. So there is a lot of opposition. And then what happens is, because there is opposition, so what have we learned in the old world about facing opposition? So in the old world we have learned that you have to face opposition by opposing the opposer. Yes, and then you have to do what they are doing in greater intensity. So you and the opposer do the same thing, but you do it in greater intensity than them. So if somebody is abusing you, you abuse them more. If somebody is, insulting you, you insult them more. If your own mind is, disturbing you a lot, then you take some pills, quieten the mind so that it has to shut up. So, you have to, when your body is not with you, you blame the body, you abuse the body because it's not supporting you. So people keep talking ill about their own bodies. Yes, this body is a burden, and this body is not, this body is my worst enemy in Sangam Yoga, and I can't get up in the morning, and I have this ailment and that ailment, and everything that opposes you, you oppose it by doing the same thing, and you keep saying that I'm not the one who started it, I'm just reacting to it. So this is how we face opposition in the old world, and this is Maya's method of facing opposition. And then what happens is, you are saying that I am doing what the situation demands, but in doing so you are causing more harm to yourself than to the situation, because you're spoiling your own karma very heavily. And then that karma comes back to you. So then ultimately you are not victorious. So in the short run you may feel you are victorious. For example, somebody shouts at you and you shout back at them and they keep quiet, and then you feel that you shut them up. But then what did you do? You spoiled your sanskar, you spoiled your karma, and then that will come back to you at a later time. So ultimately there can be short-term victory but not long-term. And I will tell you one thing. There is a mata, and you see, when we listen to these things, we take very big lessons from these. That this mata, she told me that my husband used to be very rude to me, and there were people in the workplace also who were very rude to me. My husband, he didn't contribute a lot to the family, so I was the one working, and then there were people in the workplace who were causing trouble, and there was my husband causing trouble. And slowly, when my son started growing up, so I have two sons, but one didn't listen to me, the other one, the elder one, listened to me. And when he started growing up, he started having empathy for me. And then then I started, training him to be an instrument to take me out of troubles. And in the beginning, he did it on his own. So he was just shouting back at my husband when he shouted at me, or he once went to the office and shouted at the colleagues who were trying to trouble me, and he was at that time 19. So they were also scared because he was full of physical energy and he could do anything. So so I found that, this person is a help to me, and I thanked God every day, day and night, that I have this wonderful son who is standing for me and doing these things to protect me. And I told God that, God, I had been waiting for you to intervene in my life, and you have intervened in the form of a son. And you are doing this great support to me, you're giving this great support to me. But then you see, slowly, now that happened 15 years ago. Now the son is 34. And now the father has died, the mother has left office, she's retired, and now the son has become a big gunda. He's become a big, problem creator, and now he's sitting all day at home, and his mother is cooking all day, and he's abusing his own mother, and all day he's behaving rudely, badly, and he's causing hundreds of problems in one day, and the mother has to deal with all of them. And then she told me that I don't know, I thanked God so much for this son, but now he has become this big problem in my life. And I told her that, have you heard of the saying, if you create a monster, the monster will eat you up? Yes, so this is the thing. So when you create a monster, whether it is the inner devil you feed, or whether you create a monster outside, or you take the support of somebody who you think can pull you out of trouble, but they are engaging in negative actions in the guise of pulling you out of trouble. So if you try to finish opposition like that, then you're going to be in big trouble tomorrow. And this applies to the inner devils also. Sometimes you unleash your inner devils of anger and violence, and using rude language, or just crossing all your boundaries of being peaceful and loveful and happy, and you think that this is what the situation demands, and how can I sit in peace and happiness when this is happening and that is happening. And all that is Maya. Maya is just trying to pull you out. So you see, we hear the story of Ravan and Sita, and Ravan did everything to make Sita cross the line. And you see, when you cross the line, when you engage in impure actions with your mind, your attitude, your feelings, your words, your physical acts, if you cross the line, then Ravan can consume you totally. And this is how Maya operates. And victory is very, very far away from a soul who takes these decisions and engages in this kind of an action. And Baba says that you have to stay in your elevated position and face all opposition. And you have to have a lot of patience, because you see, the nature of opposition is, whether it is from your own mind and sanskars, or whether it is from outside, if you don't engage with it, it slowly dies out. Yes, but if you keep engaging with it, it will keep, getting the food and fuel. So you have to not even think about it, and you have to just continue to be in your elevated position. And when you become a detached observer and you know that somebody's behavior, you can't do anything about it except retaliate negatively, then just stay away from it. Just wait and watch. And with your own mind also, just sit as a detached observer with Baba and keep calming your mind and sanskars with peace and love that you take from Baba. And when you stay in your elevated position and allow the opposition to pass, then you will be victorious. And it may take a long time. Some things come and they stay for a long time. But you have to be with Baba and you have to be peaceful and okay and joyful, and you don't have to wait for the opposition to go. You just have to be with Baba and it will go away sooner or later. But if you engage with it with the intention of finishing it, you are going to magnify it, because whatever you resist will persist. And it is your own energy of thought, feeling, attitude, action, whatever you give to it, that spiritual energy you're donating to that opposition, and that feeds it. So don't even give a thought to it. And meanwhile, you keep building on your sanskars and doing your good karma. And you see, it's a game of vibrations. When your inner self is higher than the opposition outside, that opposition will go away. But in order to go to that position, you have to feed your inner self. And be in yoga with Baba and keep doing the karma that Baba teaches you. The karma of remembrance, purity, seva, churning of knowledge. Keep doing that. And if you keep doing that, then you rise higher, and then you don't have to fight with the opposition which is, lower than you. And I remember, there was this one brother and he was working in an office. And he told me that my colleagues don't like me and they are always, doing something or the other against me. So I said, you don't mind that, you do your work and you do your work well enough to get a promotion as early as possible, so that then they are not your colleagues, they are your juniors. So you rise above them. Why? Or do you want to be their colleagues all your life and keep fighting with them? So I said, no, but they are my colleagues right now. So I said, they are not your colleagues. They are just, your vibration is, you are at that place in your spiritual stage that you are attracting these people. If you vibrate higher, you will not attract them anymore. And they will not be your competition. And I always feel that, why should I have competition with negative people? If somebody has negative sanskar, they are vibrating very low. And if I am competing with them, then is my vibration also the same? And it is so. If I am competing with somebody with a very low vibration, that means I am their competitor and I have the same stage. So then I should try to, enhance and uplift my stage. Or do I want to be there and keep, like the pig in the mud, I want to keep getting dirty all day, then and there, all my life? That's not my goal. So we have to understand that you don't have to do the same thing as the opposer and then in the guise that you are trying to finish it. No. If you are doing the same thing, you are the same person. Don't claim to be the higher person. So, this is a very big thing that Baba tells us today. And you see, the fact is, you also have impure sanskars. So, sometimes those sanskars will drive you crazy. And I remember there was this one Mata, and she told me that my sister-in-law, she filed a case against us. And now, you see, Didi, I am an educated person, and nobody can just, take advantage of my politeness and my goodness, and she's just going on and on and on. And I am an educated person, and I have to, I have to also show them that I can do something. So I said, this is not you, this is Maya talking. And I told her she has not filed a case, she's just sent a notice. You give a reply, give a proper reply and send it. You don't have to do anything against her. And just keep quiet and remember Baba. And you see, sometimes your own sanskars and Maya keeps talking to you in very fancy language, She'll say, I'm not a doormat, I'm not uneducated, I've not come from the village, I know things, I also know how to give them back, and these are the things. So they don't fall into this trap. So you have to understand that that's not how you finish opposition. And the bigger challenge is calming your own sanskars. Because whatever other people do outside, your own sanskars keep jumping up and down. And it's also very important who you talk to in these moments. So, never, I once wrote an article on who is your fallback. And that's a very important thing in life. So, when you are on the spiritual journey, never share things with somebody who is not on this journey, or just pretending to be on the journey, because most people just pretend to be on the spiritual journey, but they are not. So they'll give you advice which is coming from Maya. So, and they will tell you that, you shouldn't do this, but then what to do? You have to, in certain situations, you have to do the negative thing. And don't ever talk to these people in such situations. Always talk to Baba, and talk to the Nimit Baba has given you. And then you will receive the direction from Baba. And write that and send it, and you will receive whatever is the direction from Baba. Don't fall into the trap of your own sanskars, or trap of, souls who are under the influence of old sanskars. And this is how you will become victorious. And victory is a very long run thing. Don't think about immediate fame, immediate defamation. People get caught up in fame and defamation. But victory is not fame and defamation. Victory is the ultimate. And fame and defamation are very short-lived. Today somebody praises you, tomorrow somebody defames you, today somebody is standing with you, tomorrow somebody leaves you. These things do not determine your victory. Your victory will be determined in the final moment. And for that, you have to listen to Baba's teachings always and follow them. And fame can be, some people succeed and they have short-lived success, and then what happens? They fizzle out, they die, and then you see there is a lot of remorse in their final moments. They don't leave the body happily or in a contented state. So is that victory? The whole world is also praising them because they don't know what they did or what was their karma. But when you leave the body, you know that you didn't lead the life you were born to live. So that is not victory. So you have to always think in the unlimited and don't give in to these, what do you say, instinctive reactions and these sanskars jumping up and down. And before acting, think many times. Don't allow your sanskars to take over and just, do something instinctively and then later repent it. So think many times before acting and be very grounded and very wisely one has to act at every step. So this is one thing. Then Baba says that you are a holy Hans. Yes, you are a holy swan and you have specialities like the holy swan, and the swan has two specialities. One is it selects jewels and leaves the stones, and then second is it separates milk and water. So Baba says that you have the quality of the swan of separating milk and water, which means that you can distinguish between what is wasteful and what is powerful. And you see, waste is on every level, on the level of remembrance, on the level of mind, on the level of words, on the level of actions, so on the level of feelings. There are lots of waste. And what is waste? That which is not, which doesn't empower you is wasteful. Yes, so all the thoughts that you create which do not empower you, they just make you lose your spiritual energy. That's waste. So Baba says that you must know the difference between wasteful and powerful, because you have your treasure of time, thought, energy, body, mind, wealth, words, actions. These are your powers, they are your treasures, and they are there to make you more powerful. But if you use your own treasures against yourself, if your own mind is driving you crazy, that's wasteful. You're wasting your treasures. So don't use your thoughts in such a way that they create a powerless state for you. Don't speak words which disempower somebody or disempower you. Don't create feelings which pull you down or create a negative environment around you. So you have to understand that this is the only time to ascend. And whenever you're using your own resources to descend, that is a waste of your resources. So don't waste your time if your time is just used up in feeding somebody's ego or, just feeding somebody's victim mentality. So if you're using your time, bring them, to the awareness that they are powerful. They are better than this. So somebody is engaging in just self-loathing and this and that, and you're also sitting there wasting your time listening to that, but not reminding them that you are better than this and you are more powerful don't engage in this thinking, or don't use these words for yourself. So that's a waste. So Baba says, now you understand that your time, thought, energy, body, mind, wealth is there for you to create a pure self and a pure world. And if you're using it for the opposite, then that's wasting them. So this is the distinction we know. And you see, you cannot, so if you are thinking straight, that is, you're seated in soul consciousness, only then can you discern between wasteful and powerful. Otherwise, emotions, when they take over you, then you cannot make any distinction between what is wasteful and what is powerful. And most of the times you are engaging in a lot of waste, and waste is self-sabotage. But you're doing it to yourself because you are under the influence of body consciousness or Maya or attachment or ego or lack of self-worth or something or the other. So, or anger, and you are just, even creating negative karma for yourself. So Baba says, now you have got the discernment. And I'll tell you one thing, the thing about buddhi is, if you don't use it all the time, then your power of discernment is lost. And I have seen students of Baba, I have seen children of Baba also, who at one time, when they were told that, this thing you should pay attention to, and this thing you should, you shouldn't encourage this thought or this behavior, then they used to listen to that. But after a point of time, even when they are, hinted at it, they don't listen to it. Why? Because you've taken too much liberty with your intellect. And you have just, continuously done whatever is not your Sangam Yogi Dharam and Karam. So if you continuously work against, so you see, so in the world, when we are children, you have a sense of what is the right thing to do and what is the wrong thing to do. Yes, when you are children, you have that sense. Yes, and then you lose that. The first time when you tell a lie, you know it's a lie, right? But now when you lie, you don't even know when it's a lie. Because the more you work against your capacity to discern, so your intellect is telling you this is not right, you don't do this, but you go against it and you keep doing that thing, then your intellect stops talking to you. And this happens in Gyan Marg also. So Baba is called the restorer of conscience. And when we come to Baba, our conscience again starts getting activated. And then we are able to discern between what is wasteful, what is powerful, what is essential. But if you, despite knowing what is wasteful and what is essential, if you keep choosing the wasteful over and over again, then slowly your capacity to discern will be lost. And then you will be just like the other crazy people in the world who are, choosing to do the wasteful all the time under the guise that I am doing the right thing, I am doing the right thing. And then you see BKs behaving like this also. And then you wonder what happened to them. Are they not listening to the Murli? No, they are listening to the Murli, but they stopped listening to their conscience long ago. And this is very important, because if you don't use your power, so we had lost our gunas and powers. Baba gave them back to us, but when Baba gave it back to us, we have to use it. And if you don't use it, you lose it. And if you lose it this time, very hard to get it back. because you lost what you got from the source himself. Now you see, if you lose your certificate, you can get a copy from the university, but if you lose the copy you got from the university, you don't get it again. So that's the thing, because this is the ultimate source, and when you lose it when you got it from there, it becomes very difficult to get it back. So we have to, we have to honor this, we have to have regard for this life, this BK life, and we have to understand that Baba is again giving us the Divya Buddhi, the intellect, the discernment, the powers, the virtues, and I don't have to lose it this time, and I have to constantly use it to not lose it. And despite the knowledge, despite the powers, despite the virtues, if you keep choosing the wasteful and the that which depletes you, then all that will be lost again. And I never have pity for anybody, because I know every soul is peaceful, powerful and peaceful. But I pity those children who lose that which Baba gave them, because I know that's very difficult to recover. And then you have to say, okay, this is drama and it's their fortune. But we don't have to become that one. Yes, and Baba in the Murli always says that if you become somebody who doesn't give regard to the gifts that Baba is giving you, then Baba will also say, okay, it's your destiny then. So if the one who doesn't give up on anybody gives up on you, that's the worst possible thing. Yes, so don't drive yourself to that place. So Baba says, I have given you the capacity to discern and choose wisely. Okay, Om Shanti.